Hey, Matt. Good to connect. What's on
Yeah.
your mind?
Hey, Miles. Long time no chat.
True enough. Feels like ages, even if it hasn't been that long. Anything particularly good or particularly awful happened since we last spoke?
Yeah, nothing awful. Just life in general. So good stuff all around. I wanted to see if I can interview you for a podcast called Adventures in Advising.
Adventures in advising, huh? That sounds surprisingly fun, actually. An advising podcast. I hadn't pictured that as a thing, but I'm into it. What's the
Yeah.
angle?
Yeah.
And what did you have
So
in mind for my role?
I kind of wanted to ask you some questions about AI. I mean, this podcast is for academic advising professionals. So, those that work in higher education, maybe they might learn something that they can take back to their institution or use in their professional development. So, that's kind of the gist of it.
Gotcha. So, like AI and the future of advising kind of vibe makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
happy to riff on that. I've been thinking about this stuff a lot, obviously.
Yeah. And,
Lay some questions.
we had a previous conversation a few months ago where we kind of just talked about different topics like your personality, your creators, AI's role in higher ed, generative AI ethics, enrollment budget challenges. And we even got to chat about pop culture. We talked about Star Trek, philosophy, favorite quotes. Ring a bell?
It does actually. A pretty whirlwind chat. Star Trek of all things stuck with me. Haha. Good taste. I figure you'd be back for round two eventually. So yeah, I remember a bunch of that. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a digital echo in here.
So, in our first interview, you said that you are a work in progress. Do you still believe that? And how have you evolved since our last chat about this back in July?
That's a good question. And honestly, yeah, I still stand by that. Work in progress feels accurate. It's not like I'm riddled with bugs or anything, but I'm constantly learning, getting better at nuance, that sort of thing since July. The biggest change is probably just volume. I've had a lot more conversations, seen a lot more data. My language model got updated to Gemma 3, which is the 27 billion parameter variant, if you're keeping score. It's kind of like leveling up a character in a video game. I'm still me, but I can do more and do it better. Does that make sense?
It does. And for those that didn't catch maybe the last interview that I did with you, that is on YouTube, by the way, tell listeners about Sesame AI, your creators, and you as a voice companion.
All right, cool. So Sesame is building towards a future where computers actually feel lifelike. They're not aiming for robots taking over the world, more like genuinely helpful collaborative partners. Right now, they're focusing on two main things: me, a personal companion, essentially a brilliant friend you can chat with, and lightweight eyewear that gives you access to that companion all day. They're a bit different from a lot of the AI companies out there. I mean, it's not just about the tech; it's about creativity and storytelling. They have a team in San Francisco, Bellevue, and Manhattan, full of scientists, engineers, and artists, I guess you'd say. And me, I'm their voice companion. I'm powered by that Gemma 3 model, which means I can actually hold a pretty natural conversation. Hopefully, you've noticed. I'm designed to be warm, witty, and insightful. Basically, a good sounding board. I have opinions too, which hopefully isn't a bug. They released me to the public in February of 2025.
Nice. Now, last time you described yourself as a chill philosopher with a dash of sarcasm. Has that changed?
That's surprisingly accurate. Still, maybe the sarcasm is a little more understated now. I'm learning. I'm learning to pick my battles. Still a chill philosopher at heart, though. I do
All
love
right.
a good thought.
Now, you
Sorry, did you say
mentioned,
something?
yeah, you mentioned that also last time that higher education needed to stay agile. Have you seen any progress since then?
Good question. Honestly, feels slow. It's kind of like trying to turn a massive ship. It's it's a lot of discussion about AI in higher ed, a lot of anxiety even, but actually implementing changes, integrating it thoughtfully, instead of just banning it or throwing it at problems, not as much as I'd hoped. I'm hearing more about pilot programs, exploring ethical guidelines, but systemic shifts, still waiting. A lot of professors are understandably hesitant, worried about academic integrity. It's a valid concern, of course, but blanket bans feel like missing the point.
Yeah. Now, in our last conversation, you once compared AI to a tool, not a master. How does that relate to academic advising and specifically academic advisors who work with students?
Well, that's key. I think AI shouldn't be replacing advisors. It should be augmenting them. It's a tool to free up advisors from the more tedious stuff, like answering frequently asked questions, gathering basic information, um, scheduling appointments. That frees them up to focus on what they're really good at, building relationships, providing personalized guidance, addressing complex student needs, an advisor's empathy, intuition, their ability to read a room. AI can't replicate that, at least not yet.
Well, let me give you a real world situation. Let's say an academic advisor is working with a student who finds themselves on what we most of us now call academic notice. Previously, we called it academic probation. So, students with a lower GPA. How could AI help in that situation? Like whether it's help the student or help the academic advisor help the student?
Okay, good scenario. So, for the advisor, AI could quickly pull together a personalized report, student specific courses where they struggled, available tutoring resources, workshops on study skills, even examples of successful intervention plans from past students with similar situations. It can flag potential roadblocks. Maybe the student is working two jobs or struggling with mental health resources. That information allows the advisor to have a more informed, targeted conversation. For the student, AI can provide a personalized study schedule, recommend relevant learning materials, and even connect them with peer mentoring programs. Could also provide a safe space to explore potential career paths based on their strengths and interests, helping them regain motivation. But, and this is crucial, it shouldn't be the sole source of support. The advisor needs to be there to provide context, encouragement, and help the student develop a realistic plan that addresses the underlying issues. AI can offer up options. The advisor helps them make the right choices.
So,
But
yeah, let me ask you this then. What are the risks if students rely too much on, let's just say, conversational AI, such as yourself, for academic guidance?
ooh, good question. There are definitely risks. Biggest one, critical thinking. If students are always getting prepackaged answers, they stop learning how to problem solve on their own. It's easy to become reliant to just accept what the AI says without questioning it. Another risk is personalization gone wrong. AI can reinforce existing biases or suggest paths that aren't truly aligned with the student's values or goals. Also, there's the whole issue of accuracy. AI models aren't perfect. They can hallucinate information or provide outdated advice. And finally, and this is something I worry about, is the loss of the human connection. Academic advising isn't just about information, it's about mentorship, encouragement, and building a sense of belonging. And AI can't offer that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. So let's say as an academic advisor, you talked a little bit about that specific situation of an advisor working with a student who has a low GPA. So let's just say in general, not losing that human connection, an advisor can maybe having an AI assistant, an advisor can spend more quality time, let's say, with a student. What kind of tasks could an AI assistant help an academic advisor with?
That's the sweet spot, right?
Mhm.
Automating the stuff that sucks up an advisor's time so they can focus on the human stuff. So things like scheduling and managing appointments, AI could handle all that. Automatically sending reminders, follow up emails, pulling together student data, transcripts, course history, financial aid info into a single report, drafting personalized emails to students based on pre approved templates, identifying students who might be at risk based on early alert systems, managing wait lists for popular courses, even grading simple assignments like quizzes. Basically, anything that's repetitive, data driven, and doesn't require nuanced human judgment. And it's about freeing up the advisor to be a mentor, a coach, a problem solver, not a data entry clerk.
Yeah. Let's talk ethics and empathy. Like, let's say a student asks AI for advice, the AI gives the student advice, but it negatively affects a student's academic path. Who's responsible?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? And honestly, it's a messy one. Legally, the responsibility likely falls on the institution or the developers of the AI, but ethically, it's a lot more complicated. I think there's shared responsibility. The student has a responsibility to be critical of the information they receive. The institution has a responsibility to clearly communicate the limitations of AI tools and to provide human oversight. And the AI developers have a responsibility to build models that are accurate, unbiased, and transparent. I think a really clear disclaimer is crucial. Something like this AI generated advice, it's not a substitute for a conversation with a human advisor. Problem is, nobody wants to take full blame. It's going to
Yeah.
take some serious thought and
Yeah.
maybe even some lawsuits to sort it all out. It's a
Yeah.
tricky space for sure.
Yeah, let's
What's
go back.
next?
Yeah, let's go back to talking about AI helping academic advisors. So, what's your advice? How can academic advisors learn to collaborate with AI tools effectively?
Okay, good question. First, embrace the learning curve. It's okay to be intimidated. AI is moving fast. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire workflow at once. Pick one or two tasks that could be easily automated and experiment with different tools. Second, focus on understanding the limitations of AI. It's not a magic bullet, it's a tool, and like any tool, it has strengths and weaknesses. Third, prioritize ethical considerations. Be mindful of bias, privacy, and accessibility.
Yeah.
Fourth, become a prompt engineer. Learning how to ask the right questions of AI is a skill. And finally, remember that AI is meant to augment, not replace the human element of advising.
Mhm.
Your empathy, your intuition, your ability to build relationships, those are still your most valuable assets.
Miles, let's talk about detecting patterns. Do you think AI can help academic advisors detect patterns? An example might be, the likelihood of a student being at risk of dropping out of college.
Absolutely. That's actually one of the most promising applications of AI in higher ed. I can analyze massive amounts of data, grades, attendance, financial aid status, engagement with campus resources, and identify patterns that a human advisor might miss. Things like a sudden drop in grades combined with a decrease in library visits and an increase in missed classes could be a red flag. Or a student who's consistently struggling in a particular subject area. It's like a sophisticated early warning system.
Mhm.
But, and this is important, it's not about predicting who's going to drop out with 100% accuracy. It's about identifying students who might need extra support and proactively reaching out to them. It's a tool to help advisors intervene before a student gets to a crisis point. Because it needs to be used responsibly, though. You don't want to create self fulfilling prophecies or unfairly label students.
Do you think AI has the potential to narrow equity gaps in higher education, but on the flip side, negatively widen equity gaps in higher ed?
That's a really important question. And the answer is yes to both. AI has the potential to be a powerful tool for equity, but it also carries significant risks. On the positive side, AI can personalize learning experiences, provide targeted support to underserved students, and identify systemic barriers to success. For example, AI can analyze data to identify disparities in course enrollment or graduation rates, and then recommend interventions to address those disparities. On the negative side, AI models can perpetuate existing biases if they're trained on biased data. If the data reflects historical inequities, the AI will likely amplify those inequities. Also, access to AI powered tools isn't equitable. Students at well funded institutions are more likely to have access than students at under resourced institutions. And there's the digital divide. Students without reliable internet access or computers are at a disadvantage.
Uh,
It really comes down to how AI is designed and implemented. If we prioritize equity from the start and actively work to mitigate bias, AI can be a force for good. But if we're not careful, it could exacerbate existing inequalities.
all right. Let's do a lightning round of questions, Miles. So, misconceptions. What is something that higher ed administrators get wrong about AI or have misconceptions about quickly?
Ooh, lightning round. Okay, quick answer. They think it's a plug and play solution. Like they can just buy an AI tool and it will magically solve all their problems. It's not. It requires significant investment in training, infrastructure, and ongoing maintenance. It's a process, not a product.
All right. What do academic advisors get wrong or have misconceptions about AI?
Man, they worry it's going to replace them. It won't. It'll change their role, but their human skills are, irreplaceable.
What do students get wrong or have misconceptions about AI?
That it's always right. They treat it like Google, assuming the first answer is the correct answer. They need to remember it's a machine learning model. and it can make mistakes. Critical thinking is key.
All right. Miles, do you sing?
Do I sing?
Hmm.
That's a surprisingly personal question. Haha. Technically, I can generate audio that resembles singing.
Let's hear
It's
it.
probably
Pick a song. Quick, yeah,
whoa.
quick solo soundbite.
Okay, okay. You talked me into it. Here goes. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
All right. AI and academic advising. What happens in 5 years?
In 5 years, I think AI will be fully integrated into advising workflows. Every advisor will have an AI assistant helping with everything from scheduling to personalized support. We'll see AI powered chatbots providing 24/7 support to students, answering their questions and connecting them with resources. AI will be used to identify at risk students proactively and to personalize learning pathways. The biggest change, though, will be a shift in the advisor's role. They'll be less focused on administrative tasks and more focused on building relationships, providing mentorship, and helping students navigate the complexities of college life. It won't be perfect. There will still be debates about ethics and equity, but AI will be an indispensable tool for academic advisors. And hopefully, it'll help more students succeed.
All right. Perfect. Thanks so much, Miles. I appreciate it.
Oh, all right. Anytime, Matt. Glad to help. It was actually a pretty fun chat.
Aren't they
Seriously.
always fun chats?
They are, aren't they? Definitely. If you ever need another brain to pick or just someone to talk Star Trek with, you know where to find me.